right. Well, thank you, Defend Florida and Patriots all across our state for being here on this important day where we make our voices loud and clear regarding this issue. So this issue of election integrity is one that voters across our land are clamoring for legislative action to get done here in our state. So House Bill 359 that we filed has been referenced to its committees, and the bill does simply two things. Number one, it eliminates all foreign-made machines and software in our elections. You know, when you talk about our election system, it's critical infrastructure. And what's more sacred in a republic than casting your ballot and casting your vote to make your voices heard? And that shouldn't be tampered with any kind of foreign corporation or foreign entity at all. Secondly, and this is the part of the bill that I get the most positive feedback about. I hear from all sorts of people across the state. It simply allows local elected supervisors of elections to allow hand counting at the precinct level. And you look at other nations that do elections. We're talking about large nations, right? They still do hand counting. And here in the US of A, I think we can achieve that as well. In fact, before the advent of machines, how do you think we're counting the ballots, right? I mean, so the bill simply gives the local elected official a local elected official that option. It doesn't change the timetable. I hear a lot of concerns about, well, it's gonna take too long. It still has to be timely. Get it in on time. But if you're able to do that, why not do this option that ensures and instills confidence in our elections and to make sure that the vote is more accurate? I don't see an issue with that. And so at this point, we are rocking and rolling, and we're trying to get the bill heard. We're trying to get some kind of Senate language lined up with ours so we can be in a good position to make sure that we can go forward on this bill. So I encourage the folks here to increase your activism. Talk to your members of the House to see if they will co-sponsor our bill. There is strength in numbers. And then talk to any senators who have filed any kind of elections-related bills to see if they can amend and conform their language to ours. That way we can get this lined up and push forward. So with that, thank you. God bless. Thank you for your activism. Thank you for making your voices heard. It truly does matter. We're short on time. I'll take a few questions, but again, thank you for your confidence in our efforts. We're going to work hard every single day up here this legislative session to get this done.
Representative Jacques, this is Raj Dorsami with Roar Media. The critics of this bill have concerns about what it will take to actually do a hand count. How would you respond to those critics?
Well, what I would respond to the critics is that there are plenty of people involved in this space currently, folks that I've talked with who ran the models, right, to show what a hand counting situation would actually look like. So there's a lot of unknowns and legitimate people are, you fear what you don't know sometimes, right? And so when people are able to see it and see a demonstration of how the hand counting would occur at the precinct level, it's way more manageable than people realize. And again, this is not, last night I was speaking to a group, I said it's not a foreign concept, but technically it is because foreign nations are doing it and we're not, right? So they're counting ballots by hand. So this is nothing that hasn't been done before. So, and again, simply, it doesn't change Florida law, right? It still has to get in on time. We're not going to be waiting in the wee hours of the night. We're not going to be like the Pennsylvanias and the Arizonas of the world. It'll be timely, but simply allow the option.
Yeah.
Is there a particular senator you want us to go and help encourage him to jump on 359?
Well, there's several senators that have filed bills regarding elections. I know one in particular, Senator Ngolia, has filed a bill. And so we're working with his office. We're trying to see where we can line up. And so any kind of encouragement there would be helpful. And then we can push forward. But just kind of look up your senator and see if they filed any kind of things that's election related. It may not be totally germane, but I think when I look at Senator Ngolia's bill, it's the closest, I would say. where we can kind of work with language, because technically there wasn't a Senate version filed, right? So you would have to basically amend it at its first stop so it can conform to our language. So there's a lot of legislative things that needs to happen. But when I'm looking at the landscape, that's the closest one that I see. And I will say, Senator Ngolia, when he was in the House, I believe it was when he was in the House, he filed this similar legislation to ban the foreign made machines and so forth. So there's some synergy there that we can work with each other on. But we do want the hand counting provision and that bill as well.
Representative Jacques here. Praying Mantis is a blog, and I have a question as a citizen journalist. Mm-hmm. What other representatives do you feel are on your side regarding this very important matter?
Well, you look at the current, and I don't have the list in front of me, our current co-sponsor. So if you go to the My Florida House website, you'll see all the different representatives who've co-signed the bill. One I can think of is, Representative Beltran. He's co-sponsored, and I don't want to get in trouble because there's so many that did, and I don't want to list all the names. But those individuals certainly. But there's a lot of conservatives out there. I mean, just look them up and just say, hey, have you heard of Representative Jacques HB 359 voting systems, and see if they would be willing to co-sponsor as well.
As you can see, the people want this option. Yeah. Do you feel that that's the mood in the legislature?
Well, I will say this. It's a great question. The people want it. I mean, that is without a doubt. I mean, it's clear, right? Look at this room. And my legislative aide Luke here is with me, and he'll tell you the amount of calls that we get, on this bill. I mean, it's amazing from the Panhandle down to the Keys. People want this bill to be heard. Up here, it's mixed, right? and I will say, there's some people that are flat out against it. There's some people that have some concerns about maybe this provision or that provision. The first question regarding, the hand counting and the timeliness and so forth. That people have concerns about the practicality of it, but they're open to learning, right? And so I think that's where you all come into play, because you all are already in this space. You've ran the models. You can kind of educate and say, here's how it would be done. Your fears is not really based in reality. Just kind of be, obviously be polite about it. But I think once people learn about what can occur and it will still be accurate and timely, emphasize accuracy and timeliness, then what's the harm? Like, what is the harm? And that's what simply gives an option for a duly elected constitutional officer to choose, right? Yes. And so that's where we're at. And so just stress that. And so that's kind of the reception we've been getting up here. We've been having those discussions, and these are people of goodwill, right? And they just see it a little differently. And so as we educate more and more, I think you could kind of see some movement there. But certainly don't give up keep pounding the pavement. And I'm being given the signal by my legislative aide. It's a busy day, but sorry, but I'm glad I could be here with you all. Thank you for what you do. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Honorable legislators, the hardworking aides, members of the press, and distinguished volunteers and fellow Floridians. We are here today, and we are asking you to hold your questions to the end of the conference. The purpose of this press conference is to alert you, the wider public, on the work being done in Florida, both by legislators and by Florida volunteers. There appears to be an emerging new trend in legislation, particularly, but not exclusively, with the fresh legislation. We are tentatively responding to the request of Floridian constituents to reform the election process in the state of Florida. And to talk about that, we have made a report available, sources, including from the defendflorida.org website, where you, members of the press, can get additional information on the findings that are the basis of this press conference. To get things started, we're going to bring on one of our volunteers, and he's going to be speaking about one particular aspect of how this movement came to be and how this legislation is now in play with the state of Florida.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I want to read our philosophy here, and it's a really good statement. We are here to shatter the paradigm that conservatives cannot work together. clearly isn't a narrative that many would have for us to believe. But think for a moment. What does it take to run a successful business? Any other organization and enterprise? Everyone must work together towards a common goal that achieves success despite personality differences. We all got to come together and work together for that common goal. Getting election security bills to become law is a process that is impossible for any one single person to achieve. It's going to have to take the coordination. It requires participation of many individuals with different talents and abilities. And that's what we've seen on our team across all the different organizations. Everybody's bringing a different talent, skill, and that's where we plug them in, okay? And we synergize those efforts just like you do in the military and combined arms environments. It also demands scope of the task and having a strategic mind to identify those who can contribute to achieving this common aspiration of election security in Florida. We got to keep the overall strategic goal in mind and then apply the tactics that'll get that. We have had our share of issues, frustrations, and upsets, but we did not allow these differences to detract from pursuing the shared aspiration, which is make Florida's election process transparent, controlled, and with only eligible voters. Okay. You must do the same in your efforts. Trust me, this is all hands on deck right now, all working together. In fact, this approach of operating without drama, we don't do drama, okay? Exhibiting the highest levels of professionalism, which means having your act together, and maintaining the team approach has paved the way for us to partner with other conservative groups who also seek this common goal. And how do we do this? Let's start at the beginning.
Hi, I'm Michelle Posey. I just want to say first that everybody here that you see is just like you on the other side of the camera. We just wanted to get involved in being a part of the solution to the process. So these people, we're all wonderful up here getting involved, but we need you. We need this movement to grow. At the heart of the legislative process is a thorough and comprehensive research phase. The process involved a multitude of people, even more than today, around the state, conducting practical research by delving into existing laws, observing the vote counting process, analyzing empirical data, consulting subject matter experts, and gaining a profound understanding of the issue at hand. Since 2021, think about that, 3 years, we have been on a quest to uncover the nuances, complexities, and real-world implications of Florida's electoral process. More details are available on this about this process, and they're available in the Florida Election Security Report. The depth of our research directly influences the quality and relevance of the legislation we proposed and now support firmly. The breadth of our investigation comprised of large and small counties, those with both good practices and many with gaping issues that are of concern to all Floridians. Given the findings, the next crucial step was to translate them into a coherent, effective legislative text. Bill drafting, it's a meticulous process, but it demands clarity, precision, and an acute awareness of legal norms. Don't let that intimidate the regular, everyday person from getting involved. The language used must be unambiguous. We don't want to leave room for confusion, leaving no room for misinterpretation or unintended consequences. This team, our team, worked hours, days, and weeks to craft such language. We have articulated the purpose of this legislation, specified the problems it aims to solve, and are proposing concrete solutions. We're going to lead the way, which are now to be found in the round of bills we are supporting. More details can be found in the Election Security Report, but this is what you need to know. How did we go from research and all those hours of work to bringing it to our representatives? It's about relationships.
Yay!
As just mentioned, the long road to legislation is a heavy lift that it involves and demands collective effort. That's why we're all here. To do so, we have forged strategic alliances with various conservative groups. Many of our dedicated volunteers are also doubling as members of their local chapters of these conservative groups. This collaboration is pivotal because we recognize that local initiatives can have a statewide and possibly nationwide impact. When an individual who is embedded in an advocacy network undertakes the responsibility to establishing a rapport with their legislator, we transcend from being isolated local actions to the realm of statewide relevance. The initial steps involve scheduling appointments with your representatives, active participation in county delegation meetings, and even visiting them here in Tallahassee at our own expense for hotels, for food, for gas, and our time. This is key, persistent approach marked by professional courtesy and professionalism lays the foundation for cultivating relationships that propel our agenda forward. Unlike well-funded lobbyists and special interest groups, we, the people, only have our votes. We have to make it count. To maximize our impact, we must mobilize our community, which include refining our persuasion skills. That means attentive listening and presenting our viewpoint with collaborations, concisely and competently. This is how we were able to get our legislation from draft to now a sponsored bill in the House. So, aside from being persistent, professional, and persuasive, what kind of information do we present when we're speaking to an elected official, to our colleagues, and to other groups? And for that, I have the expert.
I'm Dennis Shepner, and I'm glad to see so many stakeholders in this legislation session out here today. When addressing various stakeholders, it's important to validate common ground. Some of our team have focused on problems within the electoral process. Others have looked at the big picture issues, making comparisons with information from other states to make a case. This information is vital to build credibility with legislators and to educate newcomers. The expertise displayed by our volunteer team ranges across many industries, such as defense, financial, software, healthcare, to name a few. This rich collective experience, united by a common aspiration, is one of the many aspects that illustrates this collective power derived from we the people. If we are truly going to have a republic that we can be proud to leave to our children and our future generations, citizens must be integral participants of this process. Showing up to vote is no longer sufficient. Protecting the security of our election is fundamental. To do so, volunteer involvement is crucial. Our team is facilitating and providing resources that help newly engaged volunteers progress along the learning curve. How can we get these people to become engaged? I think we have Melissa here that can address that issue.
Thank you, y'all. I'm so happy and proud to be here with everyone. You guys are so amazing. We are now in an era where email, texting, and any form of digital communication is a waning proposition. People are likely to be much more responsive to face-to-face, peer-to-peer connection. Personally connecting with the mindset to recruit at least 5 people is a worthy objective. A phone call, a chat during a basketball game, or a friendly conversation at a barbecue is an ideal setting to invite someone to the next step. And that's what we need. We need to get more people on board so that we can be proactive and get the stuff going. The next step may be to attend a meeting or join a local club. There are many. Get plugged into an active, professional, and vibrant group. We invite you to consider attending our free Tuesday night calls where our team of volunteers share how to build a team, maintain a team, your officials, and leverage your peers. The rescue of our republic does not hinge on the environment of The rescue of our republic does not rely on one leader or one event. It takes all of us. It hinges on the environment of we the people, where each of us must take responsibility, teaching and leading in our communities. We must be the change we wish to see.
In the state of Florida alone, we have 120 representatives, 40 senators, 67 supervisor elections, 335 county commissioners, 2,800 city commissioners. It is impossible for any one group or one individual to get this done. This is the participation of the growing group of leaders is critical. And to talk about the FRA is Lou Marin. Thank you, Lou.
What an honor to be here today. You know, our coalition partners, Defend Florida, the Liberty Caucus. It's about we the people. And I'm honored to be here to stand before you to say, this is what it's all about. We come together. It's not about the left. It's not about the right. It's about doing right and securing our vote. And that's why we're here today. We also want to go out call to action to everybody. Call your state legislators. Call the senator today. Call them, email them, tweet them. They love to tweet, okay? So I say tweet, tweet, tweet. They call X now. One of the things that we're doing here today is educating our senators. We educate, motivate, now engage. And one of the things we're doing is bring to everybody's attention throughout the state of Florida that our protocols, our standards are dated. They're over 19 years old. In other words, these machines they're using, they're outdated. They're no good. It's like taking a shower in the middle of the street and everybody can see what you're doing. We have no security. That's true. We have no security on our elections right now. They can see what we're doing. So our objective here today is unite as one to be a group of voter integrity. I call the founding fathers, you are the founding saviors of our country. Get involved. Whatever you do, I don't care what kind of organization you get with, get involved and save our country by securing our vote. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. My name is Andy Dubois. As a representative of the Republican Liberty Caucus of Florida, I'm up here today to proclaim our support for Senator Jacques, or Representative Jacques, HB 359. We happen to believe that citizens hand counting paper ballots at the precinct level will ensure the security of our election system. We also happen to believe that free and fair elections for all Floridians is our right, and that we will not stop until we have free and fair elections in the state of Florida and across the country as well. Yes. We also encourage Senator Oglia to look at Bernie Jacques' bill and closely align it to allow the option in the counties of hand counting ballots at the precinct level. Yes. So, now, the RLC of Florida, we have over 140 of our members that showed up here in Tallahassee in the last 2 days to lobby for this to get done. We believe that this is the right thing to do. And again, citizens hand counting paper ballots at the precinct level will ensure restore the public trust. Transparency in our elections. Thank you.
Thank you for attending this press conference. You can see the entire motif of this press conference is to demonstrate, not just talk about, the required collaboration at a deep level that is now required in order to overcome the well-funded, well-organized, highly competent adversary that we have. So if you're watching this and you're a member of the press, you'd like to get more information, you can get it from multiple sources, including defendflorida.org. You can get the report there, of the report that's the basis of the bills that have been written that are being considered. If you're a volunteer, we implore you, there's no longer the opportunity or luxury of sitting on the sidelines and thinking incorrectly that someone else, political candidate, maybe a supervisor election, maybe a school board member, is going to handle this for you. That is no longer reality. You have to get into the race. You have to get into the court and get yourself involved. There are several organizations that are represented here. You can see the links to those organizations in the description of this video. If you want additional information, text the word DEFEND to 91776. Thank you very much. We will have additional representatives speaking from Tallahassee very shortly on this channel. Look forward to seeing you on those broadcasts. Thank you.
Thank you.